Today, I'm sharing with you the best poker tricks you can get from Penguin Magic that use no gimmicks. I'll share with you my real-life experiences and opinions on these tricks to help you find the best magic for you in a crowded marketplace. And stick around to the end of the video to find out the trick that I use to sharpen my own cheating skills. The Winning Hand by Rick Lax starts off the list at number 8 because it's a killer poker demonstration where the audience does the dealing. First, you set a target poker hand, have the deck shuffled, and then deal out 5 hands of poker, and give yourself a hand that matches the target hand. Was it a 3 of a kind? You deal yourself a 3 of a kind. Was it 2 pair? You deal yourself 2 pair. You then give your audience the deck to shuffle, and they deal themselves a winning hand. But not just any set of cards, you reveal a prediction that you wrote down from the very beginning that has been hidden in the card box. This is a fun trick because it starts with the hook of cheating at cards and then finishes with a strong mentalism reveal. Now there's a small setup that has to happen for the kicker ending, but Rick does a great job explaining how to get into that setup from a shuffled deck of cards right in front of the audience. Great trick. And I would have ranked it higher, but it mixes cheating at cards with mentalism, which some people don't like. The construction of the routine is worth taking a look at though, because it builds on an already very strong Divernon trick. Let's move on to number 7. Power of Poker by John Bannon is one of the stronger 10-card poker deal tricks that you can perform. Like Winning Hand, it's a little lower on my list because it mixes card cheating and mentalism, but it makes the list because the audience genuinely makes all of the decisions. If you've never been introduced to John Bannon before, this is a great one to jump into his exceptionally clever packet trick work. A prediction is placed out from the very beginning, and then you offer them a series of choices, and the spectators genuinely make all of the decisions. They choose who gets which cards. You still win with the higher poker hand, and the kicker is that your prediction not only predicts who wins, but also the exact poker hand that each person will get. The principles involved are great because once you learn them, you can also start to use them to make up your own routines. I'm Erik Tait. I'm one of the performers and teachers here at Penguin Magic. And before we go any further, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you'll be notified when we release more videos like this. I know there's a lot of magic out there, and it's my job as a full-time magician to go out and test these routines in the real world and then report back to you on my experiences with them so you can make great decisions about the magic that you want to learn. Let's get back to the list and look at number 6. One Card Poker by Chris Rawlins is an incredible 4-ace production disguised as a simple game. The deck is shuffled and then the top cards of the deck are distributed or burned into the deck at the choice of the spectators. When the cards in front of you and the spectator are turned over, they're the aces. The top card of the deck, that's an ace too, and a chosen card that was placed face down in the deck is revealed to be the final ace. The principles involved in this effect are devious. Your audience is really shuffling the deck and they are really making the choices. Using a game for an ace production makes it truly shocking because the discovery of the 4 aces is the furthest thing from their mind. There is, in a very technical sense, one gimmick involved in this, but I guarantee that you can make this yourself in a few seconds at home with stuff that you definitely already own. And you'd want to have this gimmick in your everyday carry deck anyway. I know I do. Let's check out what made my list at number 5. Czech Poker by Jason Ladanye has a special place in my heart because it was one of the first projects I worked on when I joined the team at Penguin Magic. And it's an absolutely dynamite routine that gives your audience the illusion of free choice. If you are on social media, you have no doubt seen some of Jason's incredible card skills that he demonstrates on TikTok and Instagram. But Czech Poker is absolutely one of the easiest, almost self-working tricks you'll ever learn. There's a very small setup, but Jason even teaches a really cool concept called the Ladanye stack hideout that allows you to get your setup in place during a shuffle. And you don't have to be a world-class card expert to perform this. The audience chooses and can even change their mind about the cards they want in a head-to-head poker game with the sole rule that you always have to play the card that ends up next to theirs. Even though they have a free choice and can even change their minds after they see their cards, you still come out with the top hand every time. This is way different than a 10-card poker deal because it does use the whole deck, but losing doesn't sting so bad for the audience because they feel like they have the advantage the entire time. Let's take a look and move on to number 4. Poker Opener by Joshua J is an amazing fireworks display of card controls, vanishes, transformations, and it culminates in a wicked 4-ace production. I love this effect because it displays so many types of magic to the audience in just a couple of seconds, and it establishes that you're not just competent with your props, but the rest of your magic is deserving of attention from your audience. Josh tells you in the tutorial that this has been his go-to opener for years in a walk-around situation, and I completely understand why. When you are walking up to an audience cold, you want to hook them with something interesting and then dazzle them with strong magic, and Poker Opener ticks all of the boxes. I also love this effect for new magicians and beginners because the sleights aren't super challenging, but learning from an expert like Joshua J is a great way to level up your sleight of hand skills. Now let's take a look at my choice for number 3. Cincinnati Kid by me, Erik Tait. It may sound a little biased since I'm the one making this list, but I really do love this effect. I created it nearly 7 years ago as of this filming, and I lecture on it and teach it all over the place. It looks like you can produce the aces from a deck with the skills of a real card sharp, but then magically at the end of the ace production, all 4 aces transform into a royal flush. The trick does require sleight of hand, but it's not a knuckle buster. In the same way that one-card poker teaches you to manage hiding a small setup while your audience is shuffling, Cincinnati Kid teaches you a fundamental sleight with cards and how to make it extremely deceptive. I go into depth on a number of different double lifts and turnovers, including how to perform one from a deck resting on the table. It's 20 years of thoughts about a single sleight, all wrapped up into a fun trick that makes you look like a real card cheat. Now let's take a look at number 2. Stealing Second by R. Paul Wilson is an effect I love performing because it's a great way to practice advanced sleight of hand for your audience while still giving them an awesome piece of magic. The routine here appears to be a gambling expose where you reveal how the second deal works. This is when you deal the second card instead of the top card. Audiences love it when it feels like you're pulling back the curtain to show them how magic actually works, which is one of the main reasons that this routine kicks like a mule. You demonstrate what a second deal looks like, and then in a crazy ending they never see coming, the kings you are controlling end up in a poker hand that the audience is in control of, and then you reveal that even though they thought you were getting the kings, you actually dealt yourself the aces. R. Paul Wilson gives a great crash course in how to do the second deal in the tutorial, and because the routine gives you permission to expose the move in front of your audience, you get to practice a relatively difficult sleight in front of your audience, and that gives you the ability to grow your confidence. Fortunately, the actual routine is easy and it puts you way ahead, so even a beginner can look like a pro using this trick. I use the trick to keep my second deal razor sharp, and if you want to gain confidence in your sleight of hand and practice while performing, there's no better routine than stealing second. Now, it's time to reveal my favorite poker trick that doesn't use gimmicks. Let's take a look at number 1. C3 by R. Paul Wilson is the absolute GOAT of ungimmicked card tricks. This trick is so strong, Shin Lim used it to win America's Got Talent. A card is selected and then lost in the deck. The audience divides amongst themselves the rest of the cards. They shuffle and deal until everyone only has 1 card left. The person who picks the card at the beginning turns the 1 card in their hand turn over, and impossibly, they've found their own card. When the other 3 spectators turn over their cards, they're holding the remainder of the 4 of a kind that matches the first spectator. R. Paul Wilson holds the top 2 spots on this list because he is an absolute monster when it comes to creating powerful routines that hit like a truck. C3 has been one of his go-to workers forever, and I even perform a variation of it when I work the close-up gallery at the Magic Castle. Even though there's a procedure to make the effect work, it's impossible to backtrack for even magicians. It's super easy to do once you know the secret and easy to get into from a borrowed, shuffled deck. There are very few tricks that will make you a legend, but this is one of them, and that's why it has the top spot. Well, that's the list. Do me a favor, let me know in the comments about your favorite non-gimmicked poker tricks and any that you think I missed. Also, be sure to let me know what other lists you would like me to count down. I'm always testing and trying out new tricks in my shows, and I want to make sure that I share my experiences with you so you can get those crazy audience reactions we all love. Thanks again for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.